Off the ball.
Bag.
Off the ball.
Bag.
All right, welcome along, folks, to the first ball bag of 2018. Of course, fans of the Chinese Zodiac don't need any... don't need to be told that 2018 is the year of the dog, which technically would make this the the dog's ball bag.
The dog bag.
Much like a butcher discarding the Christmas turkey's rancid giblets, ball bag is your chance to dissect the show's most unappealing offcuts. Send your complaints to offtheballbag at offtheball.com. On the butcher's block today, Adrian Barry, Owen Sheehan and Nathan Murphy, but Owen, in a fit of pique, has walked home to Kerry because of the incident. Quizgate, crappy Quizgates.
Sheehan Gate.
Need a better... Anyway, we'll come up with some. Yeah, here's one for... That's like the worst David Brent. Oh, I'm just thinking of something. Here's one for Nathan. A text from last night during the Spurs versus West Ham game. There are people talking and laughing near the commentators. Really annoying. I'm about to turn it off. We're not quite sure if that's aimed at the commentators or the fans who are talking nearby, but your comment has been noted.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't aimed at the commentators, and there were no fans near us in the press box, so I would suggest it was one of the other commentators.
Oh, really?
Is everybody not working when they're... I would have thought it was a busy working...
Well, you have some people who only do updates, so they're not doing full commentary, so maybe they're having the banter with their producer.
No, don't look down on the on those whose rights only allow them to do updates.
No. I'm just suggesting if you look back at the video from this morning, you might see who was sitting near us.
Oh, shots fired.
Moose. Was it? Yeah.
He's a big West Ham fan.
All right, so he's cheering in the press box. That kind of stuff.
I think he was just getting excited.
Like, there'd be nothing worse, Jared, than somebody going to a game to commentate on a report on it and having allegiance to that team and getting carried away with the fact that that team is doing well. I for one, would abhor that type of behaviour.
Actually going and enjoying your job and, getting passionate about what you're watching.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
There's a difference if you're doing it off air and on air. If you're doing it on air, at least people are getting some kind of sense of that. But if you're doing it off air...
like Nathan does it when he's at Liverpool.
Everyone seems to think I'm a Manchester United supporter now, so since the crappy
fair enough. All right. This week, despite the powerful impact of our GA players... GA footballers power rankings top 10. Jesus, I'm having a nightmare here. I'd like to apologise. This is not how I intend the year to go, right? Just so you know, I know that there are people shouting at the radio in the car on their way home going, that clown, any other clown in the world would do this better than him. I apologise. I will do better.
Is this what happens in the morning show?
No, we don't have any scripts in the morning show. We've decided that they're unnecessary, and so therefore I'm not reading somebody else's words. But anyway, this week, despite the powerful impact of our GA footballers power rankings top 10, there have been claims that our 2018 GAA coverage has got off to a lethargic start. On Wednesday night, Brian texted in. Come on, Brian, thanks. The All-Ireland champions are playing tonight and not a mention of it. Just a load of crap. What was on Wednesday night?
Dublin and Meath and in the... Was it Dublin? No, that was the hurling.
Dublin and Offaly.
Footballers. Yeah. But like, what else? I mean, I knew that was in the Bournemouth Park. What was on the show on Wednesday night?
Sorry.
Anyway.
Oh, dear.
Chelsea Arsenal was on. Dave Clark was on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
The Dubs aren't even there. They're on their holidays.
That's just a bit of a misnomer. They aren't the All-Ireland champions. It's not even managed by Jim Gavin.
Meanwhile, Dave in Galway offered, off the ball seems to be only interested in soccer and rugby. No GA half or full-time results, says Dave in Galway. Which, in fairness, that's bollocks. There should have been half-time.
I would agree with
results.
that.
I mean, your point has been noted, Dave.
Yeah, that's on the producer, isn't it?
We did give the results. What
about the half-time, though, JP? That's,
No. Oh, he didn't give the half-time results, and he goes, that's a Richie issue. He's throwing Richie. Come on, JP.
Wow.
Right. OTB AM's anti-darts bias has upset the Arrows aficionados out there and in here, I have to say. Got a lot of shit about this, but Michael in Cavan says, lads, great to see some positive analysis of the darts. Unlike your OTB AM colleagues, it's serious entertainment and requires a lot of individual skill and determination to succeed, not unlike golf or the snooker, says Michael in Cavan. Come on yourself, Michael. I mean,
we really needed Dave McIntyre for the Cavan accent there. Yeah, I don't know what you were going on with.
But he doesn't have to have a. I mean, a lot of Dubs moved out to Cavan because of the property prices, and now they're marooned there and they can't get out. They're stuck in the weeds of Virginia.
How bad? Why are we? One question I have about, and Jerry, you are uniquely placed to respond to this.
Oh, and Sheehan loved the darts, by the way. So
everybody loved the darts.
Why do we feel the need to label it one thing or another? Who cares?
I don't care.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a sport, it's not a sport. People are so wound up by the idea that it's... Because I saw people commenting on the...
I wasn't wound up. I was like,
I'm not suggesting you were. I'm just saying that people who were responding to it were like, how dare you say this thing is not a sport? And then others who were like, yeah, of course this is... Like, who cares? It's a game. Either way, it's a game. You can watch it for entertainment.
Yeah, it's a game. Yeah.
It can be enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
just
chess.
go and enjoy it.
It's like a...
Who cares?
Okay.
We're very wound up with labels, aren't we? It's like
chess on poppers.
What does it have to do to qualify as a sport?
I don't care. We're too anti-darts for some and too pro-Leinster for others. This came in from Anonymous. Nathan is not pro-Leinster, by the way. Let's get this going.
Nathan's just not pro-rugby, though. That's his
If only Shane Stapleton was here, we'd have the grand slam of anti-Leinster bias on the show. Does anybody on the show not understand the concept of Leinster having more money than God and also having so many central contracts that they can bolster their squad and hold on to key players, unlike Munster? I have no doubt that the number one Munster team would match Leinster's top team. P.S. The best rugby player in Ireland, Conor Murray, drives a Renault Kadjar. Meanwhile, the Blues boys are in Mercs and Audis. It's all about the money. Renault Kadjar? Kadjar?
Yeah. No, Kadjar, yeah.
Kadjar, yeah. You have a Kadjar, don't you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I have a car. It's not a Kadjar, though.
Is it not a...
It's not even a Renault.
What's the problem with Conor Murray driving a Renault Kadjar?
I'm sure it's like a brand new one.
Yeah, and he may also be receiving a nice little top-up on top of the Renault Kadjar, where maybe if you're driving a Merc, you don't get the little cash.
Cappuccino green, somebody's saying. Is that your car's Cappuccino green?
No, it's not.
JP is like... Yeah,
like Toyota is the car brand associated with Munster.
But obviously not anymore.
Kind of weird.
Bank of Ireland are their sponsors.
What was the point of this entire thing?
Leinster have loads of money.
Right.
And Munster would beat them if they had the same money.
No, but he said, actually, that was interesting. He said that they would match them, which is not saying that they would beat them, which is almost a self-admission that Leinster are better than Munster.
I mean, Leinster do have all the money of God, right? That's the whole point. Their school systems, they're like kids at 15 are getting full-time strength and conditioning from fully qualified strength and conditioning coaches. And that is a massive advantage to the province.
Munster have a fairly healthy private school situation that feeds into those clubs.
Not as many.
Like, maybe not as many. I would accept.
I think there's been improvements in recent years, but the general acceptance is that like it fell way behind in standard over the last 2.5-3 decades.
But I don't understand what. So is this sort of a Manchester City, Manchester United conversation? And every time we talk about Leinster, we have to talk about the investment that's been put in, and it's completely unfair.
Well, I think the point, and I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can articulate it a little bit, is that everybody is wetting themselves about how amazing Leinster are at the minute, and wouldn't you be amazing at something if you had all the resources, is really the argument. And wouldn't it be amazing if all the provinces could have something like equal resources, so you could have 4 equally weighted teams, and therefore everything would grow, as opposed to it just being corralled into this small part of the country. That's the argument.
Well, I don't remember too many Munster supporters marching on the IRFU when they were threatening to put Connacht out of business because they couldn't give a shit back then when they were winning Heineken Cups.
There's also a bit of recency about it. For that point, like, it's the Dublin thing. It's the we should blow up this entire thing, and
but that's I mean, the reality of the current situation is that it's not ever going back to what it was. You're not going to have a situation where Munster are the dominant team in Europe again, unless there is a massive injection of cash.
Then that's up to them, though, isn't it? Isn't it?
But not really, because the IRFU,
some of that is on them to get their shit together.
Some of it's on them, but some of it is on the IRFU, because the IRFU definitely have been giving more central contracts to Leinster, and Leinster have been better at tapping corporate cash from beyond the IRFU pots of money, and obviously they've got a much bigger market. It's exactly the same situation as Dublin now that you bring it up, and that's not going to fix itself without some kind of tampering with the economics from outside.
Well, and I actually think, but that's where the leeway exists as far as I'm concerned, and I don't know enough about the specifics of it, but like, there are some fairly wealthy business people living in Munster that the challenge for Munster is to, and for Ulster I think specifically, I mean, I guess the same exists in Connacht, but to tap up that local business community and say, hey, you need to come and invest with us. Like, that's for them to go and do that, right?
They are doing that. It's just that there's far fewer businesses with all the, like, with the exception of a couple of obvious examples. Cork isn't the centre for the multinationals who have all that cash, or there's not as much corporate money available to them, and they're doing a reasonable job with what they have available to them.
But one of these things leads to another.
It's about schools. Like, it's
no, that's probably fair.
Yeah, and the schools lead to the academy, and suddenly all the best players are coming from Leinster, so automatically they're getting all the central contracts.
Anyway, what happens is that Leinster end up breeding all these players, and they end up going to Munster and Connacht anyway, and Ulster as it turns out.
Yeah, it's not ideal though. Wouldn't it be much better if those players actually had more of an affinity with the place? I got that. Yeah, I get that. But anyway,
really,
here are a couple of quick.
I didn't think you cared about it, whether they had an affinity or not. Do they need to have an affinity with Munster or Connacht?
Well, they don't. But isn't it better if they do?
In the professional era,
it shouldn't matter,
club
right?
game.
But I don't know. I think that people are going to be as keen to buy CJ Standard jerseys as they are to buy Peter Manny jerseys in Limerick and in Cork. I think that maybe we overrate affinity. Anyway, let's move on. Here are a couple of quick-fire complaints. When is somebody going to comment on that Kilban interview? Potty mouth or what? Says Deck in Arklow.
This is the Ball Sports. What?
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was like, he just killed him.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was a warning shot, wasn't it?
But like, shit. let's lift the editorial curtain slightly here. Like, this is the way Kevin Kilban behaves around the office all the
time. Don't cross our Kev.
I'll tell you what, you should see him in a Premier League match. Pooh, prima donna amongst his own people, football men.
Football men, you see.
Wow. Not long putting you back in your box.
I was very taken aback. I was just thinking, is this like a post-Saipan thing where he's decided anytime conflict arises from now, it's go big or go home? Because I've seen how it works. Yeah. It's like, all right, that's what you're supposed to do.
To be fair, I was also being facetious when I said the initial point. I think he is not like that at all. Kevin Kilban generally is actually one of the world's nicest men. So let's just. I mean, I want to offer some sort of defence of the man in his absence.
That was unnecessary, Adrian. Right, and then this one randomly apropos of nothing, which could have been sent in at any moment between 7 and 10 or 7:45 in the morning and 9. Amateurs, you will never amount to anything. Joke station. Fair enough.
Oh, that's fair enough.
This week, Off the Ball trial its new picture show feature with both Mark Lawrenson and Kenny Cunningham making their debuts as movie reviewers. In summary, Molly's Game good, Last Jedi bad. However, Mark and Kerry was quick to point out one particular heinous Laurel clusterfuck. He says, Off the Ball is fake news. Christopher Plummer replaced Kevin Spacey in All the Money in the World, not House of Cards. Get it right, lads, says Mike and Kerry. Nobody's replaced with House of Cards yet, as far as I know, have they?
I think the last I heard was they were pulling the pin in the entire...
No, it's coming back. It's coming back.
Is it?
Yeah.
But is it coming back with a Spacey character? Is it not just going to move...
Well, the most obvious thing was, like...
I didn't see the last episode.
In terms of character lines.
Adrian Barry, spoiler alert coming up.
Well, the fact that the conversation about Kevin Spacey still existing in the programme, obviously he's still alive in the programme, and what I'm going to say is that the most obvious thing for a US president would be that you could easily take him out of the script.
Do you have to show that really? I mean, you don't, obviously, but it's much better if you do.
Or else you get some sort of life-size mock-up and go,
oh! Well, you can just get a Christopher Plummer or somebody
like Mrs. Brown's Boys or whatever.
Get his head explode, boom.
Mrs. Brown's Boy style.
Back and to the left.
I didn't see it.
No, neither did I. I'm just trying to...
Right, finally this week, Owen McCall writes, Hi lads, I listen to a lot of your podcasts walking to and from university, humble brag, and also when dossing about. Okay, we agree with that. Last night, however, it went a step further when in a dream, someone I believe to be Tommy Rooney pushed me forcefully in the chest and told me to fuck off and stop being a weirdo. I think it was in relation to him appearing in my dream, which in fairness is pretty weird, but also... not my fault. All the best. Owen in Liverpool. Safs for Sam.
Safs?
I mean, I presume it's Antrim. Yeah. Do you know this man, Tommy? You don't know this man?
It's really weird.
It is, yeah.
It's disturbing.
Like, the disturbing thing about it is that your aggressive nature, Tommy, is now being sort of exposed to the wider public.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Tommy's not that aggressive, although he did think that he'd suffered a concussion on a night out from one of his mates smacking him around the head because he had him in a headlock. It was actually just a 6-day hangover because he's getting to that point in his mid-20s where that happens. That's the truth, by the way. All week it was like you sitting there in the production meetings. Oh, I think I've got a concussion.
The scar.
Tommy, there's way too much of your personal life that gets...
Yeah, I'd like to apologise to Tommy.
Still, so.
Owen McCall dreaming about Tommy. I mean, that's great, but just don't take it too far on. Fair enough.
Or do.
That's our lot this week. My thanks to Owen, who wasn't here, to Adrian and to Nathan as well. The whole sporting year of 2018 stretches out before us, opening up an infinite vista for us not to disappoint you all in a manner of new and exciting ways. Stick to the script, Ger.
That was a happy
offering
ending.
up an infinite number of opportunities for us to disappoint you in all manner of new and exciting ways. When we do, fire off your complaints to offtheballbag@offtheball.com or get us on Twitter, Facebook or text.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that latest offering from Off the Ball. If you want to subscribe, and you should, check out just up here. All our latest stuff is just down here. Generally, knock yourself out.